Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences, and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, we are commemorating World Sketch Note Day. Learn your name in Morse Code Day, International Thank You Day, International Parity at Work Day, and various other commemorations. Let's look at each of the commemorations. Today, we are commemorating January 11th as World Sketchnote Day. World Sketchnote Day is celebrated every year on January 11th. Each year, it clinched a place among the holidays. That is, it started in the year 2016. The word sketch notes is a composition of English words for sketch and notes. The art has a very large fan base. Countless sketch noters have their say and their picture and have created various formats. With classic sketch notes, drawn recipes, sketch types, charming travel memories in sketch form, to-do and shopping lists. The very act of sketchnoting does two things: helps one remember better, and it lifts the mood because of the cute graphics. It is based on the good listening skills and the ability to sift information to capture visually what is important. Although traditional history traces the earliest known writings by humans in Mesopotamia between 3400 BC and 3300 BC, note-taking and creative ways of capturing ideas were always in demand. One of the ways of doing this is brainstorming, where groups get together and think creatively and use sketches and words to get new ideas. Sketchnoting builds on this, with an individual taking notes in an interesting, memorable way. The earliest reference of sketchnoting, sketch, visuals plus notes, text, date back to early 2007, when designer Michael Rood decided to experiment with a new approach. This was to enhance comprehension while taking copious notes while attending a design conference, he has taken just a small pocket sized notebook, which was too small to write everything. He began listening and analyzing, capturing the big ideas he was hearing, seeing, and thinking about into lettering and drawing. Thus, the process of sketching plus noting was born, and other people began following. The art uses the visual alphabet, a collection of shapes and symbols that can be used to create a wide variety of sketches. It is much like how letters are joined together to form words. Basic shapes such as dots, circles, lines, waves, triangles, and squares can be rotated, distorted, and combined as desired. People can use the symbols and sketches as they desire, and they build their own enhanced alphabet built on their meaning associations. The Sketchnote Army is a community of creative visual thinkers from across the world. Since 2009, Mike Road puts to paper an illustrative guide to note taking, the Sketchnote Handbook written. The idea of its celebration was to honor how sketchnotes have bettered our lives and World Sketchnote Day, birthed in 2016. An initiative of educators, Carrie Backham and Monica Spillman, participants of the Doodle collaboration, gets noticed by social media and spreads in 2018. Sketch notes, also known as visual notes, are handwritten records of information or an experience using drawings and written text. Drawings are only illustrations. That is the difference between drawing and a sketch note. The educational department in Scotland uses sketch notes to document inspection findings after school visits. They find it concise and easy to read. Sketchnoting has become very popular at tech conferences. If you have ever doodled while on phone call at a conference or in a meeting, you are a prime candidate for sketchnoting. Read some available material, develop your ideas, and you are well on the way to become a sketch noter. Link up with other creative minds on social media, share and showcase your ideas. It's a whole new world of possibilities out there. Once you have mastered the skill, teach and inspire others, such as local study group. You may teach them this as a life skill, knowing you have helped people with an easy way to remember what they have earned. You need not be an artist. The discipline is based on simple sketches and you can adapt it to suit your needs. It all comes to perfection with lots of practice through the use of illustrations, symbols, structures, and text. Your very thought can be translated into paper. Sometimes words and text fail to capture difficult concepts adequately. Sometimes words and text fail to capture difficult concepts adequately. Sketchnotes helps us by creating a gateway to fully transmit our creativity. Note taking has its earliest origin traced to Greeks using notes for personal records. Sketchnote is a combination of text, typography, shapes, drawings, symbols, and shapes to take notes that interesting and are memorable. The symbols and pictures are based on creating word and picture associations, which engages the brain in learning in more one way. While note taking, at least the ears and eyes are used. The eyes make up 80% of how we take in the world around us. This helps us remember the work covered more easily. Sketch notes are super fun, catchy, devoid of fixed rules, and deeply personalized. Two people taking the same notes will have sketch notes that differ, which makes it feel like a secret code. It brings back memories of childhood longings to be a spy with secret writings. Having a note taking skill that is suited to you decreases the stress of the process. It eliminates the problem of lost or misplaced notes or missing pages because it is safely in one place. Sketch notes are more engaging because of the different incorporated elements. It helps improve the learning process, giving clarity and aiding retention. This is because when you enjoy the process, you remember more, so your recall is easier. Today is also commemorated as International Thank You Day. It is a day that serves as a reminder we ought to express our gratitude to those who made our lives better in some way. What better month to reflect on this than the beginning of the year? We often forget to say thank you because we take it for granted or we assume that others know how we feel. The day was founded to recognize the importance of always saying thank you. During the ancient times, societies were already busy communicating with each other. Egyptians would write on papyrus sheets and the Chinese would write on paper. They would send messages to friends such as greetings or wishing them luck for New Year. Must have been some thank you scrolls thrown in there as well. The word thank is believed to have originated between C40, uh, uh, 450, and 1100 century. The Old English noun meant thought, its meaning progression, as documented by the Oxford English Dictionary. It became favorable, thought, or feeling, goodwill. It evolved further into kindly thought or feeling entertained towards anyone for favor or services by the Middle Ages. The practice of sending messages to friends started to become popular in the 1400s when Europeans exchanged greeting cards with family members and friends. They embraced this new form of social expression, which included delivering notes by hand. There were probably some handwritten thank you notes delivered here and there as well. Long after the Europeans began using greeting cards, German Louis Sprang immigrated to the US in the Christmas of 1873. He produced and sold greeting cards to the European market from his base in Boston, Massachusetts. Come 1874, he was making and selling Christmas cards in the US as well. Since then, both Christmas and thank you cards have been in demand as years went. Before that, there was no Christmas or any such greeting cards that were produced. So all these many celebrations which come in the festivals, like especially we see Christmas tree also was not there initially. It was as part of the business, like all these Christmas trees and all these, you know, uh, these gift boxes, gifts, and even greeting cards, all are part of, business as part of festival celebration. Not only this festival, majority of the festivals which we see, across the world are based on the business, to make business, to make profits, and most of them are promoted by the business houses. So expression of gratitude not only come from written word. So the habit of always thank you started during the commercial revolution, as already mentioned, of the 16th and 17th centuries. It was popular among the middle classes who used it often as it was a type of language heard as well as used in offices and shops. For the last 500 years, its usage has spread across the world. During the Han Dynasty, Chinese imperial court officer Sualin begins producing paper from old rags, finishing nets, and tree bark, and paper is invented in 105 AD. The first postage stamp, the first adhesive postage stamp is issued in the UK, making it easier to keep in touch with people both near and far on May 6, 1840. Thank you cards for all. What was once an expensive means of personal communication becomes affordable due to advances in production and a reduction in postal rates. E-cards are invented. Social media group founder Judith Donat invents electronic greeting cards that are sent online in 1994. The phrase thank you is not meant to be capitalized when used on its own in a sentence. Examples you may see otherwise are possibly the writer's style choice or a honest mistake. The Merriam Webster dictionary notes that thanks is plural, coming from singular word thank. It's right to use many thanks because the word many goes with plural count nouns. The two hands with palms pressed together and fingers pointing up can be used to ask a request. show gratitude, reverence, or a gesture of prayer. So send a surprise to your friends' inboxes. Imagine their delight to find a thank you card amidst work related emails. There are magical words saying I'm grateful helps to strengthen relationships and savoring positive experiences. Write little notes of gratitude for the special person and place them in a jar. They can pick a note to read to get an instant boost of positive energy for the day. This is the way to express that you owe someone a favor in return for something that they have done for you. In the 18th century, it was believed to be shortened from the Dutch word tak, mean thanks, an informal way of saying thank you. For example, when a stranger opens the door for you, and a public declaration of gratitude is frequently used online in the music scene, shout out. A way of saying thank you, especially on internet after someone gives you information like hat. And we love this day as its good manners. It reminds us of basic decency. Treating and talking to others as well is a sign of respect. And sincere words of thanks bring comfort to whoever hears them. And this is a practice that not only great for today, but every day it warms the heart. It's easy to take people and acts of kindness for granted. This day helps us to be more aware of those who help make a life better for us every day. It keeps us mindful. Today is also commemorated as Costa Rica Constitution Day in Micronesia. Costa Rica Constitution Day takes place annually on January 11th to commemorate instituting of a constitution in the state of Costa Rica, which was formerly known as Cuse or Strong's Island, is an island located in the Federated States of Micronesia. As such, it is one of the four states of Federated States of Micronesia, and it comprises the main island of Costa Rica, as well as a few neighboring islands and islands. The most significant of these neighboring islets is Lelu Island, which is inhabited by 15,000 people. The land area of Costa Rica measures up to 42 square miles, making it capable of sustaining 6,600 people. The state capital is Tofoy, with the highest point being Mount Finkel, which stands at 2,080 feet. Archaeological evidence shows signs of Kose Island being settled in the early years of 10 and 1000 AD, including the city of Lelu, which existed from about 1250 to 1850 AD, having had a population of about 1500 in its heyday and occupying some 27 hectares. The island featured burial pyramids for its noble natives. Lavado de Saavedra, a Spanish navigator returning from Tito to New Spain on September 14, 1529, was the first Westerner to see Cosri Island. In 1668, the island was formally handed to the Spanish, who essentially occupied it by 1885. When European explorers had their initial contact with Costa Rica in 1824, the island had a highly stratified society, which was typical of the time of the nearby islands. Matrilineal lineage and clans, a feudal system centered on aristocracy members, of which possessed land that was worked by commoners, and villages made up of tiny families who would live together in cookhouses were characterized of Costa Rica culture. Congregationalists founded the first mission station on Costa Rica in 1852, and by 1870s, nearly the entire island has converted to Christianity. In the modern era, Costa Rica is home to numerous Christian sects, and religion continues to play a significant part in the society. Bully Hayes shipwrecked at Kosrae on March 15, 1874. After his ship, the Leonara, became stuck in Otway Harbor due to storm for 7 months. Hayes resided in Otway, terrorizing the people. British investigators detained him in September 1874, but he managed to escape on 14-foot boat made from wood salvaged from the ruins of the Lunara. The first European contact with Coast Islands is made in 1529. The nominal Spanish occupation of Coast takes place in 1688. The Congregationalists introduced Christianity to the people of Coast Islands in 1852. The effective sovereignty of Coast by Spanish occurs. In 1885, the Spanish sovereignty. Coasterian, sometimes rendered Kusayan, is a language spoken on the islands of Kusre. Kusay. Is Kusre, the state of Kusre is one of the 4 states of Federated States of Micronesia, and it comprises the main island of Kusre as well as few neighboring islands. People from Kusre are simply referred to as Kusrians. Far Era is official Kosraean dish, and in the honor of Kosrae Constitution Day, you can look up some recipes online and make something nice. You can share this dish with family and friends. The geographical structure of Kosrae and its surrounding islands make it an attraction for individuals who love to dive. You can visit and experience for it yourself too. Micronesia only receives about 45,000 visitors, is one of the least visited countries of regions worldwide, recording only an average of 4,500 people each year. Micronesia is a global destination for diving tourists, and most of the 45,000 annual visitors are divers. Micronesia is so small that there are about 1 lakh inhabitants in the entire region. Kosrae has near zero reported crime and is considered one of the safest places in the world to live. Micronesia is such an isolated region that most people are oblivious to its existence. It is an opportunity to try a new dish, and we can add Kosrae to our travel list, and you will never regret. Today is also commemorated as International Parity at Work Day, which is a global day of action for promoting equitable pay regardless of a person's race, country of origin, gender, or sexual orientation. Globally, women earn 84% of what men earn, or on average. The difference is stark if you are an immigrant woman, a person of color, and have children. People from the LGBTQ community suffers horrible discrimination, where sometimes the fight isn't for recognition but sheer survival. On this International Parity at Work Day, we celebrate diverse workplaces. Let's call or practice that barriers to a more just and better world. The first International Parity of Work Day was on January 11, 2017. The inaugural event, held in London, featured multicultural performances, inspiring dialogues, and awareness building on pay discrimination. It was an international event as the business communities in Japan, Sri Lanka, Australia, and the United States also got on board. Discrimination in the workplace is rampant even today. What's shocking is that workplace discrimination still exists in the most developed countries. Despite the prevalence of several anti discriminatory laws, one of the main reasons for disparity is bias. Whether intentional or unconscious, employees tend to make hiring decisions influenced by a host of biases, cultural, social, or personal. Rarely do candidates land jobs solely based on their skills. The layers of inequality can be complex. They can also vary across geographies or industries. Take gender disparity, for instance. Men dominate boardrooms and executive positions in companies worldwide. Women often struggle to rise through the ranks as quickly within the dynamic. It's challenging for trans workers to get their due. Similarly, other LGBTQ employees struggle with coming out of the closet. The fear of discrimination forces many employees to lie about their personal lives. Ethnicity can hugely impact job quality and income. Typically, unemployment in African American communities is double that of white people. Although we moved many steps ahead in this regard, the average earnings of most minority communities remain dismissive. More importantly, when individuals live and study can profoundly shape their future, people may only have access to schools without resources or academic rigor. Lack of awareness or exposure to STEM fields can hinder more women from pursuing fulfilling careers. The glaring disparity in early education manifests itself years later, usually and as income disparity, lack of opportunities, and discrimination. On International Parity at Work Day, we keep the conversation alive, a reminder to keep the momentum going against all forms of inequality at workplace. Adams creates a stir in the White House while advocating for women's education and equal rights for men and women. In 1797, women in US earn 61 cents for every dollar one a man makes. In 1960, Title 7 of Civil Rights Act offers protection against employment discrimination because of such individuals' race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. In 1964, the first gay employee network officially makes an appearance, talking about a revolution in 1978. Equal pay is a person's right to the same wage or someone else doing work of equivalent value. Nobody should be discriminated against based on gender, race, socioeconomic background, or sexual orientation. Equal pay contributes to more just society, eliminating indefensible or biased pay gaps in crucial across the industries and professions. To tackle unequal pay in the workplace, ensure your research and find out what other people in the market are getting paid for your position. If you notice glaring discrepancies, bring them to your HR rep or company's attention. Have all the facts ready and be prepared to escalate the issue if needed. Don't perpetuate a culture of silence. Challenge disparity in the workplace and push for equality. Offering solidarity, especially when you are not directly impacted, is everything. A lasting impact can come from institutional changes. Speak with your HR department and ask what policies the office has in place on work parity. Rally your colleagues since there's always strength in numbers. Continue conversations outside the office. Social media is an excellent to get the word out. Share credible posts or articles about International Parity at Work Day. The numbers don't lie. Women earn only 77 cents per dollar a man makes. The World Economic Forum states that gender pay gap occurs in every country, industry, and profession regardless of income. Progress is infuriatingly slow. At the rate we are going, it is approximately 257 years to close the gap and achieve income parity. Women often face a pregnancy penalty, no worker protection, maternal leave, and workplaces that pursue mothers incapable of being professionals. Women with children have it worse. Most women worldwide work in lower skill and lower paid roles without a job security or a voice in decision making. Everyone deserves recognition for the hard work they do. International Parity at Work Day amplifies the voices of people who face unjustifiable discrimination every day. It increasingly polarizing at times like these, the world needs multiple opinions, voices, and perspectives. Recognizing and celebrating differences only makes us stronger. International Parity at Work Day reinforces the importance of equality The future is brighter when we move forward together. It is a perfect day to let everyone know about your unique heritage. It is also a day to preserve monuments, raise funds for iconic landmarks all over the globe. Conserving wildlife is also part of the day. By raising awareness and educating others about the structures and creatures, we celebrate who we are, where we came from, and how we all are connected. The Heritage Fund is the largest dedicated grant funder of the UK's heritage, working to champion the value of heritage for everyone. Anything from the past that is valuable and worthy to pass on to future generations can be considered heritage. Positive things happen when we share, understand, and value our heritage. Cultural heritage include physical structures or locations such as historic buildings and archaeological sites. Artifacts maintained and transmitted by generations into society are also considered cultural heritage, like sculptures, paintings, and books. These are called tangible cultures. It is not just monuments and objects, though. Some examples of intangible cultural heritage are living expressions passed down from our ancestors, such as performing arts, traditional skills, and oral traditions. Customs, rituals, ceremonies, arts, crafts, music, and politics, as well as ideological beliefs that influence culture and behavior. All are part of it. So are folklore, traditions, and language. These are all important in maintaining cultural diversity. Natural heritage is the national characteristics and physiological and geological formations that make up the habitat of endangered species of plants and animals. It also includes natural areas of value to conservation, science, or natural beauty since its inception. The Heritage Fund, through the National Lottery, has donated approximately $9.4 billion dollars to support over 40,000 projects. With multiple funding programs, each provides different amounts for funding of different projects. Heritage Treasures Day lauds their work and raises awareness regarding the importance of preserving our shared history not just in UK but throughout the world. Today is also commemorated as Learn Your Name in Morse code in US. On January 11th, Morse code is a method of telecommunication used to encode messages in a sequence called dash and dots, or dits or das, which sounds like clicks. There is an international Morse code based on basic Latin alphabet with extra Latin letters, Arabic numerals, and punctuation. Each character is in international Morse code is represented by a unique sequence of dots and dashes. Morse code can, to the trained person, be heard or seen. There is no record of how this day originated or by whom Samuel Morse created the system in the 1830s with the help of his assistant Alfred Lewis Wade. Morse code was later improved by an American scientist, Joseph Henry. They were the ones who modified the electronic mode of communication and unveiled it on January 11, 1838. Telecommunications began to evolve and the Morse code system became pivotal during the world wars. During World War II, so while the use of Morse code may not be what it was, its legacy still lives on. Romantic notions of Morse code arose with the idea that spies and smugglers used it for their operations. Morse code was used as a standard for maritime distress until 1999, with the only popular SOS remaining in people's memories. The main use of Morse code these days is within ham radio or amateur radio clubs. When using the Morse code, widespread use of abbreviations and codes. The codes are the dots and lines language. The idea of Morse code in first introduced to the world in 1830s by Samuel Morse. A duplex system was developed so two messages can be sent simultaneously over one line in 1872. A new distress code is put in place called the Global Maritime Distress and Safety System in 1999. Last telecommunication company closes, the Indian BSNL company is shut down the last electric telegraph system in 2013. With a Morse code decoder, you can decode Morse code and read English text easily. Morse code translator is a translator that lets anyone translate. The Morse code translator is a translator that lets anyone translate text to Morse code and decode Morse code to text. There are online code translators also available. Samuel F. Morse was a businessman and presidential portraitist, but he had remembered as a creator of the Morse code. The internet always has the answer, and Morse code is available for free online. You can, if you are willing to learn Morse code for free, there are sites with translators that you can figure out your name easily. Interstellar and Titanic are movies that are vividly depict the use of Morse code. Host a movie night with friends and families to take extra notes. Morse code. Songs with Morse code include Astronomy Domain to Pink Floyd, London Calling by Clash, and The Tide is Running by Roger Waters. Songs with Morse code include Astronomy Domain by Pink Floyd, London Calling by The Clash, and The Tide is Running by Roger Waters. Thousands of workers of wall art worldwide depict or contain Morse code. Before the invention of the Morse code, Samuel Morse used it to be an artist.